So I'm gonna guess you're wondering what qualifications it takes to get a job in UX design. If so, stay tuned because I'm gonna answer that question right here, right now. Hey folks, Jamie here, your online UX mentor. I'm a senior UX designer with 2 master's degrees in UX and about 25 years experience in the design industry. In this video, I'm going to talk about what qualifications you need to get into this very fun and also super rewarding career. So whether you're working to become a UX researcher, a UX designer, or a related role, all these skills are going to be crucial for your success. Let's dive right in with research skills. Folks, we got to talk about research. It's not about stalking people on the internet or whatever. It's about understanding them, understanding their struggles and their needs and their goals. It's like designing something for your grandma, right? You wouldn't give her a complex app to use, now would you? No, heck no. So you have to think about your users, folks. You will need to develop the skill of researching people, interfaces, and processes, mostly people. This includes conducting user research like interviews, surveys, and usability testing, just to name a few. Now your goal here is to understand the person or the user of the app. Think about this. Where are they frustrated? What are their goals? What is the struggle? You can't design a thing for other humans to use if you don't know in detail what the other human is trying to do or solve. That is why it's called human-centered design, folks. Without the human in the center of your design, it's just design. And I say that to you, graphic designers, because that was me at one time. You might as well just make art for fun if you're going to do that, or worse, do what some sales manager or marketing director told you to do in the design, because I promise you this, they are not the user of that application. You're going to have to understand how to analyze and synthesize research findings to inform your design decisions. Okay, so beyond research, there's interaction design. You need to learn the fundamentals of interaction design. What is interaction design? It's the very act of the user interacting with the things you design, probably a user interface like tapping buttons, swiping up and down, scrolling, pinch and zoom, all these things. This is how interaction designers build things that work easily. You also have to understand how to make all the screens flow together seamlessly as well. In interaction design, you are focusing on creating intuitive and seamless user interfaces, and that is one of the major goals of this job. To do this right, you're going to have to explore tools like Figma. At the time of this video, this is the #1 prototyping tool, or other tools, just to name a few of the programs we use to create wireframes and prototypes every day. Another skill you must polish here is visual design. Now I know in previous videos I said that we don't just do visual design, and I'm still going to stand by those words, but visual design is still part of what we do collectively, so we have to talk about it. And let me say this, don't let the word design scare you off. When I was working on my master's degree, I was really surprised that a lot of folks in my program just wanted to be researchers. And when I got to know them a little bit, it was only for the reason that anything design was really intimidating to them. For me, it was natural because I came from graphic design, but a lot of folks that really scares them. But in the market, when you job search, you're gonna see that a lot of jobs for UX designers really outnumber those for UX researchers by a significant amount, like 5 to 1. There's just a lot more UX designer jobs than just UX researcher jobs. So if for no other reason than to improve your odds of getting hired, I strongly recommend that you become a UX designer. And as I said, visual design expertise is a smaller part of what I do, but I've seen many former graphic designers simply backspace over the graphic designer title in their resume and put UX designer in its place. Unfortunately, this won't go well for those folks in the job market, because typically in those cases, if we don't see any research in your case studies, then when we interview these folks, we just won't hire them. With that said, you have to demonstrate both research and design. And you must acquire basic understandings of visual design principles, including color theory, typography, and layout. You can actually level this up really quick without reading a bunch of theory books or going to art school or anything like that. And here's how. I recommend downloading Figma. It's totally free. and it's also the UX industry standard right now for design. Teach yourself how to use it, and then recreate some of your favorite apps like Spotify, Amazon, or similar. It is proven that copying is one of the fastest ways to learn. So give this a try if you feel your skills need building here. Another important skill is prototyping. So you must master or at least become proficient in prototyping tools like Figma to bring your designs to life and simulate user interactions. With programs like Figma, we can make more or less kind of fake apps that look and work very much like the real thing. They're just not coded by developers yet. And with these fake apps, we can do amazing things, and they have huge value. We can use them for our awesome online portfolio. We can use them to have participants try our designs in usability studies. We can use them in concept tests to see how our designs resonate with our target users. And we can demonstrate to some very high-ranking executives how the design is coming along. Get really good at this, my friends. Another big one is UI development basics. Notice I use the word development. By this, what do I mean? I mean HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They're really kind of like the three musketeers of the web development world. You don't need to be a coding guru, but it really helps to speak developer-ish. It's like being the translator in a foreign country. You might not speak the language fluently, but you can definitely ask directions to the nearest pizza place. To use an analogy here, when I worked in graphic design, I had to hand off files to the printing press, which was a very large machine, and those operators had their own specialties. They had to create printing plates, and they had to manage the inks that went into these huge machines. I had to know at least a little bit of how these machines work so I could properly hand off my graphic design files for them to print. Handing Figma off to developers is a very similar concept. You have to effectively communicate with developers and understand the technical constraints of what you can do. Another huge but understated and commonly underdeveloped skill is communication skills. I implore you to develop strong communication skills because you're going to need this to articulate your design decisions and collaborate effectively with cross-functional teams. I can't stress this enough. Now I'm going to pick on some of my fellow UX designers for a second. I've seen so many folks being put on the spot to demonstrate large projects, do a presentation deck or whatever, and they just are the worst communicators, and the audience just gets checked out so fast they start playing on their phone. The presenter unfortunately mumbles, rambles, 10.3 million ums, and they go way over time if they're allotted 5 minutes. So just please don't let this be you. And it's not just about talking, it's about listening. Communication is a two-way street. Work on listening better and work on drawing out your ideas on whiteboards. Work on using analogies like I've just done a couple times in this video to communicate your ideas with ease and understanding, and even work on body language. It's so important. Sometimes you are a team of one, but if you're on an agile team, you're going to be working arm in arm with developers, project managers, and then you're eventually going to have to report to some pretty high-ranking folks, sometimes SVPs, and you're going to have to be damn good at communication. And while I'm on this topic, make sure you're pleasant to work with, okay? Don't be a jerk. This is critical. Don't get married to your ideas and don't get defensive. Okay, and like the holy grail of all UX skills is problem-solving abilities. So you're going to have to work on cultivating a problem-solving mindset. It's almost like a philosophy, really more than a skill. Think about observing human struggles every single day, okay? I want you to imagine how you might solve them. It can be almost a game. So next time you go to the grocery store, just kick back while you're in line and watch somebody struggle with the self-check kiosk. You're gonna see this all over the place. Watch your family struggle how to program a TV remote. And when you see this happen, as part of this game, I want you to think how you might solve this if you were to redesign whatever it is they're using. If you feel so inclined and you're excited about it, even start doing some sketches. I promise you, if you do this over time, you're going to turn yourself into a problem-solving machine, and that is really going to help you succeed in this job and succeed in getting the job, because they want to see they got a problem solver that they're talking to. Okay, another very important skill in UX design is actually UX writing. So you're going to have to understand the importance of clear and concise UX writing to guide users through the interfaces. Now the reality is people aren't even really reading. They're more like scanning the apps and the website pages at like Mach 5. They typically have one or two things they're trying to find and nothing else. So when you fill up this web page or your app screen with a bunch of copy, even if you think they need to read it, or let's say the marketing director says you need to put it in there to build brand tone or something like that, you've got to be very careful, because what's really happening is you are putting the one thing they're trying to find, kind of like a needle in a haystack, because you're surrounding the needle with all this proverbial hay that they don't care about. And you're making it very difficult for them to find what they want to do, and you're making a very poor experience. And the worst thing is they just hit the back button and say, see you later, I give up, and bye-bye customer, bye-bye user. Another skill that really is a skill in itself is portfolio development. Now, there's something that even I need to work on, and you really never stop working on it, and that is updating and refining your portfolio. It really never ends. Building a strong portfolio that showcases your projects, including your design processes, your research findings, and the impact of your work is critical. I recommend booking your calendar for 30 minutes a day, it's no more than watching Netflix, to refine your portfolio. Get feedback from your peers as well. How's this looking? What do you think of this? Your portfolio is a major reason that you will or will not get a job. So you got to get this part right. And by portfolio, I mean your case studies that are nestled in your portfolio as well. Another big skill, and it is a skill, is networking. You have to connect with professionals in the UX industry through networking events. I'm talking about LinkedIn, I'm talking about meetups, I'm talking about webinars, and I'm talking about conferences. I know many colleagues who got fantastic jobs in UX simply from a fellow student or somebody they knew that recommended them for the job. This really works, and it's really critical, and it's essential to sort of stand out in an ocean of competing candidates. Now, I guess someone could say this isn't really a skill, but I'm going to implore you anyway to please always be continuously learning about this field. After 2 decades in the business world, I will still read a book about once a week, and I don't even really read them. I download the audiobooks and I put them at advanced speed. I frequently listen to podcasts. I watch YouTube videos like the one you're watching now to keep me learning. I have to stay on top of what is working, and I do this on top of working an 8-hour workday. It's not really that hard. Every time you ride your bike, walk the dog, do the dishes, whatever it is, have some UX audiobook going through your brain, because you're doing this other stuff anyway. You might as well multitask. And if you do this, when the time comes to either interview or do something really difficult on the job, you're going to be super sharp and you'll always be in demand, and nobody can fade you because you're always going to have some awesome badass answer up in your noggin that you can use to respond to challenges or difficult situations. Okay, my friends, by focusing on these skills, you're going to be prepared to enter the UX industry and embark on a rewarding career. Remember this: practical experience and a portfolio that demonstrates your skills will be invaluable in landing your first UX role. So good luck and go out and conquer. All right, in summary, by focusing on the skills I covered, you're going to be well prepared to enter the UX industry and embark on the awesome, rewarding career that you want. Just remember, practical experience and a strong portfolio that demonstrates your skills will be invaluable in landing your first UX role or leveling up. So good luck and go out and conquer this. And now that we better understand the skills that UX design entails, let's explore some fundamental jobs that are ideal to pivot from if you want to get into UX design. And all that is covered in the next video, so stay tuned. And if you feel this video helped you even a little bit to break into UX and thrive once there, or even made you laugh a little bit or crack a smile, which I doubt, please hit that little like button and I would greatly appreciate it. And if you did, well, I guess I need to work on my comedy skills. Maybe ChatGPT can help me or something like that. But seriously, is there something I missed? Is there something you wanted to see but I didn't have it in here. My friends, I'm open to all feedback, so let me have it. And if you're ready to take the plunge, be sure to download your free UX Starter Kit. It's a comprehensive guide to kickstart your journey in creating meaningful user experiences. The link's in the description below. Let's elevate your design skills together. Oh, and before I forget, I'm working on a class to help folks pivot into UX design, so stay tuned for notifications on that. In the next video, we're going to explore some of the best jobs to pivot from if you want to get into UX design, and how skills from other industries that you probably already have can really boost your UX powers and set you up for success. So be sure to check out that next video, folks. Thank you again for your time. This is Jamie, your online UX mentor, signing off, and we'll see you on the line in the next video.